Welcome to the Mommy Helper Show. Building a business is never easy. Mom-Preneur Bhargavi Arunagedi talks about building her business as a professional makeup artist while holding down a full-time job. Oh, and she raises 2 kids in a multicultural home. Next, a marriage and couples therapist, Dr. B, is back to tell us how to manage our parents' expectations. And last, learn how to shop smart for your baby. You don't need everything on your registry. All you need is a professional shopper at Pish Posh Baby. So kick back, relax, Mom, because the next 30 minutes is all about you. Professional makeup artist Bhargavi is no stranger to challenges. A daughter of Gujarati parents, she met and fell in love with her husband, who happens to be of Cuban descent. Right now, she raises 2 girls in a multicultural home. She holds down a full-time job. Oh, and she launched a very successful bridal makeup business called Cinderella Brides. We sit down with Bhargavi today where she shares how she overcomes the challenges and how you, if you're interested in becoming a mompreneur, can have it all and do it all successfully. Well, Mom, today, consider yourself lucky. If you ever thought you did not know how to make up your face, you are sitting with one of the best professionals in the industry. We're sitting down with Bhargavi Arunagedi from Cinderella Brides. Now, Bhargavi is a professional makeup artist, but today she's going to talk to us about being an entrepreneur, a mom, and also holding down a full-time job. So, Bhargavi, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So we gave you this intro, and you're like Superwoman. Not only do you have a full-time job where you work 9 to 5, like every single day?
Yes.
And you are a mother of 2 children.
Yep.
How old are your kids?
8 and 6.
You have a husband?
Yes.
That's a full-time job in itself, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And you decided to become an entrepreneur how many years ago?
About 8.
8 years ago. So you woke up 8 years ago with your first child and said, I'm going to start a makeup business? Is that what happened?
Well, I always loved doing makeup, and I decided to take it to the next level. And, you know, I was always the one doing it for other people, friends, family. And I said, you know what, I can make money doing this. Why not?
But you were making money at a job. You had a kid. You have a husband.
I love beauty and I love fashion, and it's something that lets me express my creative side.
So did you take classes? How did this work?
Well, I was kind of self-taught. I did some classes here and there. I never went to like an academy or a school, but I did get some training at the Artistry Beauty Institute out in Michigan. And then I decided to just, go for it and start learning. So between local classes in the city, practice, YouTube, and just kind of just doing it. You never learn something unless you just throw yourself in there and you just make it happen.
But being an entrepreneur is not easy, having all this responsibility. Tell me how you juggle everything.
Well, I have a lot of to-do lists. The reminder to-do list on my iPhone is my best friend. And usually I will kind of set my schedule up the night before. And it does get overwhelming at times, but I try to just take it day by day. So I plan ahead, but I don't focus on everything I need to do. I focus on what's the most priority for the next day.
Okay, so you are the owner of Cinderella Brides.
Yes.
And it's a makeup team. Is it coast to coast around the country?
It's right now on the East Coast, and so all from New York, New Jersey, down to Florida.
And your job right now is tending to brides. It could be bridezillas, it could be great brides, but your job is to make them look beautiful and probably one of the most important day of their lives, correct?
Yeah.
That is not an easy job to have. It means a lot of your weekends are probably taken up.
Yep.
What falls through the cracks when it comes to the kids then?
Well, we work as a team at home, so my husband is awesome where, if there's some certain events that they need to go to, he's going to be the one driving them around, not me. Usually that would have been my job if I was home on the weekends, but, we work as a team, and he realizes that I have a passion to do this, and he completely supports it. So if you have a supportive husband, it's going to make it a lot easier when you are an entrepreneur. Okay?
Okay. But now, what happens the days the kids want you, and you're not able to do it? What do you do?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Does it happen? Does that happen where have you missed something? Has something fallen through the cracks because you're trying to juggle so much?
I mean, it really depends. If there's something that's important, you know, the nice thing about being an entrepreneur is I can choose when I work. So if I feel like there's something important that they need me for, then I'm not going to schedule a wedding or an event or some type of training. You know, I'm going to make sure that I'm available. So my priority is, you know, is my kids first, and then everything else.
You talked about your husband before and what a great team member he is. Like probably one of your right-hand man. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you about 10 years ago, 17 years ago, you said you met your husband?
Yeah.
You did something really wild for you and your own family. What did you do? Tell me about your husband.
Well, he's not Indian, and back then, and it's more common now, but back then, that really wasn't an accepted thing. Okay, so we dated for about 7 years before we got married. And, you know, my parents weren't for the engagement. We got engaged 5 years into our relationship, and we had a 2-year engagement to give the family a chance to accept and cope with the, you know, difference in cultures.
So you married him. He's not from the Indian culture. And 10 years later, what has been the result of this marriage that your family wasn't even accepting in the beginning? What happened 10 years later? You're married 10 years now, right?
Yeah, 10 years. So we've been together all together 17 years, 7 years dating, and then 10 years married. And, you know, fast forward 10 years later, it's great. The marriage is great. My parents love him. He's actually probably one of the most favorite son-in-laws. And, you know, although we have cultural differences, we compromise. And that's really important to keep any marriage alive, is compromise.
Well, you bring up a good point. How do you keep your culture alive in a multicultural home?
Well, I am very much into my culture as well. So, you know, I'm always around the Indian community. The girls go to temple every week. They take Gujarati classes to learn the language. They take cultural classes. And I'm involved in different things that are happening in the community, whether it is in the temple or the fact that I do mainly South Asian weddings. Also, it's just nonstop. So, and I have a very large friend circle of all different backgrounds, but I have a lot of, you know, Asian Indian friends also. So I don't feel like it's a difficult thing to keep alive. It's, you know.
Do they ever get confused between the two cultures? Now, what background is your husband?
He's Spanish.
Okay, so do they find it difficult to manage both cultures, both religions?
No, not really, because the girls are really practicing Hinduism. And so, no.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how strong the other faith is. So, like, if my husband wanted them to go to church, would I have a problem with that? Probably not, you know. That's okay, because the girls can learn everything. They can choose what they decide they want to believe in.
Let's say you have a mom watching right now who is on the cusp of opening up her own business, no matter what it is. What's the one thing she needs to keep in mind?
That she has to be ready to work, like, 24/7. When you're a business owner, you don't close your doors at 5 o'clock. You don't shut your computer down. You have to be available, depending on the business that you are building. And it's going to take a lot of work, but if they're organized, if it's something that they're really passionate about, they could do it.
What do you do in your downtime?
Hang out with the kids, hang out with the family, just watch a movie. The girls love to just hang out. We go shopping. One of the things I really like to do also is spend quality time with one individually, because I have 2 girls, and I feel like, you know, sometimes if we're all together, I really don't get that quality time with them. So when I do have downtime, maybe I'll take one and Hans will take one. We'll split up, or, you know, but just the regular family thing, shopping, hanging out, cooking together, baking together, you know.
And when you're tired, do you always wear makeup?
Most days I do wear makeup because I am my own brand. So when I walk out the door, I want to make sure that I'm ready for whoever I meet. So I do like to put on a little bit. I don't wear makeup to the gym. I don't wear makeup, you know, to go to bed.
Wait, you don't wake up looking like that? Oh. Well, I want to really thank you for taking the time to talk to us and for sharing with our viewers how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur, a mom, a wife, and hold down to 9-to-5 job. But you seem to be doing a great job and looking fabulous doing it. We all know how difficult it is to raise children. Now we're raising them in a different society than one we're used to. Well, how about raising your kids with the expectations of your parents in mind? Dr. B sits down with us today and talks about how we can raise our children and also keep up to the high expectations our parents have for us. Check this out. Okay, I'm going to flip the script on you. It's very easy to say this is how we're going to raise our children.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you that I had a huge fight with my mom over a week ago, and she just stopped talking to me. And the fight was based on the way I looked at things as a 30-something-year-old and the way she sees something as a 60-something-year-old. You know, how do we manage our older generation, be it a mom, a mother-in-law, a grandmother? How do we come into our own and make them understand that it's okay for them to come into their own as well?
So here's the trick. And I don't know if this trick will work for everyone because I don't believe one size fits all. But do you know the golden rule? Golden rule is do unto others as you want it done to you.
Right.
I have heard of the platinum rule. And I don't know who said that, but do unto others as they want it done to them.
Well, isn't that being fake?
No. Because that is what I mean by relationship based.
Oh.
If I know that you care to have coffee, why would I take you out for tea? I should take you out for coffee, right? If I take you out for tea, you'll be like, yeah, sure, you'll be sweet, and that's you kind of flowing with me. But if I want to host you, then I need to step into your space and understand how you view the world and how to cater to you. But that's where the tension becomes, because how do I keep doing what my mother-in-law wants when I also need to do what I want?
Right. How do you balance the two?
So part of that is, again, a process, which is, and you'll hear me say this over and over again because there's no quick fix.
Okay.
Part of it is, I think, what you told me earlier. You're going to have lunch with your mom and talk to her.
Right.
Your goal may be, let's make this right. But how it'll become right, neither of us knows that. You have to go into the process and take that risk and talk and engage, but also learn. What was it like for your mother raising you in America? What was it like for your mother-in-law growing up? How did she feel as a mother? Can we get to know the person behind that role? And when people feel that they are heard, they are seen, they don't have the need to kind of force their voice or their way.
So it's just a matter of listening more.
Listening and being curious.
Being a journalist.
Being a journalist, fabulous, fabulous metaphor. I use the metaphor of a researcher. Go into people's life like they're a different culture, like you're an ethnographer or a journalist, and just be curious, learn more. And in that, the relationship gets built. It's not doing something, it's being a particular way.
Interesting, interesting.
And do it with your child and see what happens.
Start asking more questions.
Ask more questions and play. I talk a lot about play, and I often think play is like what children do or mind games. But I'm talking about how we improvise and adapt in the moment. How do we create not knowing what we are creating?
It's an interesting thought. Hey mom, the moment you get pregnant, it seems it's all about the baby and the baby stuff. But when the baby actually arrives, what do you really need to use? I'm here at Pish Posh Baby in Jackson, New Jersey, where their main goal is counseling moms on what they really need the moment their baby comes into this world. So it's very nerve-wracking to be pregnant and to know how to take care of your child while the child's inside of you, prepare for the birth, prepare your house, and then prepare for what things you need when the baby comes out. What makes Pish Posh Baby so different than, say, a Toys R Us and a Bye Bye Baby? What kind of consultation do you offer moms?
Well, firstly, here at Pish Posh Baby, we're moms to mom. We're not just customer rep that's being called and asked, you know, we want to purchase this. Do you have this product? Yes. Here's your credit card information. You're good to go. Here at Pish Posh Baby, we offer mom-to-mom advice. So first of all, we can really relate and empathize with the pregnant mom. You know, we're hormonal as well. We also go through the ups and downs.
Right.
You know, many times these moms will call, or you know, prospective moms, and they'll call in and say like, "This is so overwhelming and so confusing. What do I, you know, where do I go from here? There's like 10 strollers," and we'll basically walk them through the whole process, and we'll narrow it down to, let's just say, 2 or 3 strollers, and we'll explain to them the pros and the cons of each one, and we can understand why this might be better than that. And then at the end of the day, when they hang up the phone with us, they feel a lot more confident and secure, and also, ironically, they just feel calmer. you know, they just feel better about themselves.
So is this kind of like therapy shopping, you would say, for
in
a
a
mom?
way, ironically, yeah. I do feel sometimes, you know, our mom reps here do feel sometimes like we're some sort of like, you know, mom rep dash therapist.
So you buy the product and get therapy for free?
Totally.
That's awesome.
I mean, come on, it's a good deal, no?
But the whole point of your store is to be really try things out. How do you give the experience of trying something out or knowing what product mom should buy that's appropriate for her when it's either online or on the phone?
So when a mom will call in and say, you know, I'm looking for a stroller, can you help me? Our first question is, okay, you know, where do you live? Are you in the suburbs? Are you in the city? You want an all-terrain? You want to, you know, all-terrain wheels? You want rubber foam wheels? It all depends on what, you know, we try to specify and limit the actual product.
Okay.
After that, you know, we'll tell them, are you looking for something lighter weight? You're looking for something heavy? You're looking for in and out of the car? You're looking for something to walk around with, you know, around down the block, in the malls? In this way, we're able to basically, like I said, specify or limit to the, you know, to a certain amount of strollers, and then we take it from there. And then in that way, you know, also price budget.
Well, you bring up a good point. What about if you are a frugal mom? You know, it's your first child, second child, fifth child, like you're on 4 kids already.
Yeah.
How does mom stay frugal and still get the best product for herself?
So that's our one of our number one questions is, you know, what is your budget? But before I go to the budget, I'll explain to them the pros and the cons of each stroller, and I'll say maybe you'll spend, you know, a little more on this specific stroller. However, you're getting a lot more for your money.
Right.
You know, I always say we're not rich enough to be poor. You know, like you're spending on cheap strollers, and at the end of the day,
right,
what do you have to show for yourself? I just
right.
spent $800 on 3 strollers, and I tell them, wait, why don't you spend $600 on one that will last you 2 or 3 kids, as opposed to lasting you for 1 child, and you're so unhappy with it as you're
right.
using it down the line.
Right, no, you bring up a great point. I must have bought like 20 of those ridiculous umbrella strollers to take on trips that
Totally.
break at the end every single time. So
I
you're
can't
right.
even tell you how many I've been through. I mean, 4 or 5, yeah, until I finally got the stroller that I love, the Upper Baby Vista, actually.
Oh, how much is that?
It's an awesome stroller. It retails for $729.99.
Wow.
However, you're getting a lot for your money.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this specific stroller comes with a bassinet and a toddler seat. It comes with a rain shield and a bug shield for the seat, a bug shield for the bassinet. Let's just say you have your second child down the line. You can always purchase a rumble seat and put a second child on. In my case, my fourth, when he was born, my third child was about 4 years old. So I bought like a glider board. So she stood on it.
Wow.
Yeah, so she felt like she was a part of the adventure.
It sounds like the Mercedes of strollers.
Totally.
Do they come in my size? No,
don't
probably
think
not.
so, no.
Tell me about a really neurotic or crazed mom that gave you a call that really stands out in your mind, and you thought you really walked her through not just the stroller process, but a process of being smart as to what to buy and when to buy it.
Okay, that's a good question. We do have a couple of those. Something that stands out in my mind. I remember having one specific mom, actually she called me, and I'm like, oh, so my first comment is, congratulations, when are you due? And she's like, 9 months from now? She basically called me right when she found out.
Oh, okay. Talk
about
about being prepared.
I know, right? So she basically told me she's a little OCD and she likes to have everything prepared beforehand. So I walked her through the whole process. I gave her a list of different strollers, but it doesn't only limit itself to strollers. After we discuss strollers, we discuss car seats because they do go hand in hand. Actually, the car seats will precede the stroller because you can't leave a hospital without a car seat.
This is true, right.
So I'll always tell the mom, have you done any research on a car seat? And then the answer will probably be no. So we'll give her some advice on what specific car seat she may want. And specifically on the car seat end, we do recommend lighter weight car seats. Because I always tell mom, don't forget, it's baby and car seat weight.
Right.
Take that into account.
Right.
So, we walk her through the process of the car seats and the strollers, and then we'll go on to even other accessories for the stroller. We'll go on to, let's just say, bassinets, for the bedroom, bedding,
right.
the whole long list.
Well, you've been a wealth of knowledge, but there's one thing you have not spoken about: cribs. I went crazy decorating this amazing nursery, which my child slept in literally for 4 months before she crawled into bed with me. What should mom think about? Do we go nuts on the nursery?
I would say not. First of all, when you're looking into cribs, you should definitely look into a crib that can eventually be transformed into a toddler bed, because you're buying yourself and purchasing a crib for a super amount of money, right? And then at the end of the day, how long did your baby sleep in the crib?
4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't let out the secret that my baby sleeps in my bed with me. I mean, and he's not a baby, but yeah.
But let's say we have a viewer today who is very close to their due date and still feels they're not ready, they're not prepared. They want to rush into their local Toys R Us, Bye Bye Baby, whatever store and pick up essentials. When they go shopping, what should they do? Should they pick up a stroller? Should they try even taking it out to their car? What should they do?
Yeah, so we do have customers that walk in and ask me that question, and I tell them right away, come with me. I'm going to show you how to handle the stroller. I'm going to show you the features on the stroller. I'm going to show you how the canopy works, how the recline position works, how the locking position works. And I'm also going to show you one of the most important features is how to fold the stroller.
Right.
Because everybody wants that easy, compact fold.
Right.
Once I do that, then I tell my customer, now you do it. And I even tell them, you know what? We have actually a car located here in our showroom with a nice sized trunk, and I tell them, come, you do it. Just copy everything I just showed you, and now bring it into your trunk and fold it and see how do you like it. And if they like it, great.
Great. So if I run to a local shop, I should be able to ask the sales rep, hey, can I try putting this in the trunk of my
100%.
car? I think that's a great piece of advice. A great piece of advice.
Absolutely.
So you're on 4 kids. Any more on the way?
Well, for now, we're on 4 kids. They're definitely keeping me busy.
Well, I really want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me and giving moms real advice, practical advice on how to shop smart when it comes to shopping for their baby.
Thank you, Sharina. It was nice meeting you.